How did that go?
Yeah, no, I was good. I think I was decent. I don't think I'm the furthest jumper, but I'm middle of the pack.
What's like the technique for that? I saw a lot of guys I saw you kind of like very much with the arms.
Yeah, I guess try to use every ounce of power you have in your body and jump the furthest you can.
What was your college experience like? You took the chance, you left, you went there. Now it seems like a destination school too. It seems like you're going to get some reinforcements.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, all the facilities are brand new. Coaches are great. Weather's nice. There's nothing really you can ask for more. So I love it there, and I think it can be a really, really powerful school in college hockey.
What was the biggest change going from development program to college?
Just the physicality and time and space. I think just college is bigger, faster, stronger, especially in the NCHC. Teams like Western Michigan, Denver, those are hard teams to play against. But like I said, I had a lot of fun doing it, and we had a pretty good year.
When you started there, what did your coaches say they wanted you to work on the most?
Yeah, I think just stopping and starting sometimes with my speed, it's easy to drift a little bit. So sometimes stopping and starting, and throughout the year I feel like I got better at that and just being more trusted upon in the D zone and everything. So some of that's coming in college hockey as a 17-year-old, and just developing as it goes.
You had a kind of cool situation where you got to go back and play with the U18 team at the end of the season. What was that like, getting to reunite with your teammates?
It was great. Obviously spending a lot of time with those guys in my 17 year and coming back to them, it's a lot of fun, and to have the opportunity to win a gold medal for USA is always an honor. So I loved it.
Horkoff also went the NCAA route. What can you say about him as a player?
He's great. I roomed with him here and at U18, so I know him well. Played against him growing up, played with him growing up. So he's a great kid and a great family.
Was he talking about the jump, trying to get the record for that before he got it with you?
No, but I know he could jump. So I guess I didn't even think about it. Then he told me, and I was like, geez, congrats. Like, I don't think it's a surprise to me, but it's cool to see someone like that set a record that's probably been standing for a while. I guess EJ said it last year, but.
So you didn't think you had a chance to beat him?
Me? No, I don't think so. I think it's a little easier when you're a bigger guy for those. Right. But no, I didn't think I was going to beat that. It would be pretty hard for me.
You're not the biggest guy, so how do you kind of offset that?
I think my biggest thing is skating and speed and just skill overall. So I think those are the two biggest things. And I think I compete really hard too, which makes up for a lot of things. There's a lot of guys in the NHL that aren't as big, but they make a big difference in games. Looking Marchand yesterday in the Stanley Cup Finals, 2 goals, overtime winner.
Wait, you stayed up for that?
I did not, but I saw it this morning.
Okay.
I turned it off after the first period, but saw the replay. Obviously, he's a great player, and guys like that, you kind of look up to him, and Bedard and guys that aren't as big but can make a huge difference in the NHL level.
How many teams you meet with this week?
29.
Was Buffalo among them?
Yes.
Anything in particular from that?
If I'm being honest, a little bit of a blur, just all those meetings. But there was no bad meeting at all. So I had a lot of fun doing it. It's a dream to play in the NHL and have the opportunity to get drafted. So going through this process is a lot of fun.
Did you meet with Philly?
Sorry, what?
Philadelphia?
Yeah, I did.
Toronto?
Yeah.
Did you get that question that everyone was talking about for the island, about choosing the water bottle in the
No, I did not. I got a money one. It was a little bit different than that. Yeah.
So that was the one where it was choose $20 or $100.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Well, they said if I was playing in Montreal, so I said I probably wouldn't need to grab the $100 bill if I'm already making a lot of money playing in Montreal.
Well, what about the exchange rate in Canada, though?
Yeah, no, what is it, 20% more there than the U.S.?
Here, there.
Yeah, so I guess that didn't come into play, but.
What makes your skating so good?
I think just technique, and the biggest thing is consistency, just always working on it since I was a little kid. I trained with my parents pretty much my whole life, and they do hockey skills training as their job, so having them in my life is pretty I'm thankful for that. And my mom playing 4 Olympics and stuff like that, there's a lot of information that they have, so I'm just super thankful to have them in my life.
You feel like you were just technically sound from a young age,
Yeah, I guess so. Just from a young age, just working on certain things, and like I said, staying consistent with it is the biggest thing. Like Crosby and players like that, they're the best players in the world for a reason. They just stick at it, and something my parents always say is the best players in the world do things over and over and over again because you never can be too good at something. So always working on my skating.
What are other things that you've worked on to try to round out your game?
I think strength. Going into college hockey as a 17-year-old, it's going to be hard. I mean, one of the guys on my team's a 99, and I'm an 07, so he's 8 years older than me. There's going to be a difference, but just put on size and muscle in the off season and during the season, which I do a really good job of. I put on like 10, 15 pounds muscle last summer, and can do that this summer too. So just come back to college hockey bigger, faster, stronger, and better in every aspect.